Yes, guys, what's going on? Welcome to Stretford, Paddock. I am Adam McKola. We are back. Manchester United have beaten Brighton 3-2. Oh, what a game that was as well. Just catching my breath after that one. Manchester United scored today when the game was finished. Can you believe it? The full-time whistle had blown. We get a penalty, score, it's the winner. The full-time whistle's blown again. Neil Maupay's crying, giving the penalty away, having just called us crybabies. Imagine that. Now, I don't want to be an Arsenal fan and just go two-footed into Neil Maupay. You know, Brighton players don't bother me that much. But today, it was absolutely nerve-wracking from Manchester United. We had to win this game. I said earlier in the week, this game was a must-win for Manchester United. We had to win this game, and we did just that in the end. But it wasn't comfortable. We couldn't be affording to drop more points in this, whether it was a draw, losing the game. We couldn't afford to do that because going 6 or 9 points behind some of your rivals, even this early on in the season, even with a game in a hand, is not where you want to be. But that's how it felt. It was going for Manchester United today. The first half wasn't good. I don't think we were good enough at all throughout the game. But somehow we've got through with the win. That's the main point. And I think that shows character. That shows a little bit of unity in that team, a little bit of spirit. We had a little bit of luck as well because they hit the woodwork God knows how many times. But just to get out of there with that result was the main important thing today. Hopefully now the team can use that to build a little confidence, got some points on the board, maybe a little bit of the pressure's taken off. I don't know. But there are overruling factors which you look at in that and say, that's a little bit of a concern. That's a little bit of a concern. One of those being, we've now conceded 5 goals in 2 games against Crystal Palace and against Brighton. We've played 2 of the teams that you'd expect to be making up the bottom 10 of the table, yeah? And we've conceded 5 goals in 2 games. That's not good enough. It's not good enough. And the defence was a big problem for us today. Aaron Wan-Bissaka didn't have a great game. There was so much space over on his side. And in the second half, Solly March took advantage of that. He should have had a hat-trick. 3, 4, 5 goals. You could just see Aaron Wan-Bissaka's side on the pitch, the right-hand side, was gaping holes every single time, and no one was closing it out until Ole Gunnar Solskjaer brought on Eric Bailly, went with 3 centre-halves at the back. Talking about Eric Bailly, he should have been starting this game. Why is Victor Lindelof starting again? Victor Lindelof isn't the only one to blame in this defence, by the way. But why is he starting again today? I don't think his performance against Palace justified or deserves starting today. Now, if it's a fitness thing, Bailly isn't fit enough or sharp enough to start after playing a game midweek, fair enough. But for me, that shouldn't have happened today. Luke Shaw, Aaron Wan-Bissaka also made up the defence. And the thing for us was we knew, when they're getting forward, Luke Shaw's getting forward, Aaron Wan-Bissaka's getting forward, we're going to get one-on-one up with Maguire and Lindelof at the back. Tariq Lamptey's going to have loads of space to get into. And that's where their penalty came from. Tariq Lamptey getting forward. He made a clever run across Bruno Fernandes, who didn't have the best of games today, but still ended up with a goal and an assist. And Bruno Fernandes brought him down. It was a penalty. And then 1-0. Neil Maupay scores the penalty. United, we need to get back into this game. Thankfully, we did get back into the game just before half-time. It was an own goal in the end. I'd have given it to Harry Maguire. It was a big presence in that box. But it was great to see us hit back straight away because the game you had that feeling that it was just going to run away from us. Brighton were going to grow in confidence, maybe get the next goal. If Brighton got the next goal, our heads would have went. Our heads would have absolutely went. And there was a few times which was really frustrating. Again, it probably points to a lack of fitness, lack of sharpness, lack of confidence, that over-eagerness to do well. Marcus Rashford, hold your line. Couple of times, hold your line, and you've got a goal. We had 2-3 goals disallowed for offside. Hold your line, especially when you can see across it. It's one of the basics as an attacker. If you can see across your line, you shouldn't be getting caught offside. And there was twice where Marcus Rashford did get caught offside. But we were creating those chances then when we went forward. The problem was Brighton had most of the possession. And whenever they had most of the possession, we didn't look like we could deal with it at the back. So we need to get better. And in my opinion, nothing's changed my mind. Eric Bailly needs to come back into that team. But what we did was we went in 1-1 at the break. And then thankfully after the half-time break, we came out raring to go. Marcus Rashford had a goal which was disallowed for offside. And then he got his goal. He got his goal which was allowed and put us in 2-1 up front, which we needed. It took a little bit of pressure off us, allowed us to play a little bit of football. But then we allowed Brighton to grow back into the game again. Build up that confidence, build up that head of steam. and their goal felt inevitable. If I was a Brighton fan, I would have been sitting there, and rightly so in the end, saying, this isn't going to be our day today. Because the amount of times they hit the post was ridiculous. Trossard and Solly March and God knows who else. They were just cracking the post for fun. And then our defence wasn't great. We had 4 at the back. Wan-Bissaka was out of shape position. Luke Shaw out of position. Lindelof and Maguire not really controlling things. Wan-Bissaka had a dreadful game. Solly March was always in space. And they were switching the ball to the back post or to the back, to the other side of the pitch where Solly March was and where Wan-Bissaka was leaving that space. And they were getting shots away at ease constantly. And you just kind of felt the goal was coming. That's why when it did come, again at that back post, it was after we went to a 3 centre-halves. And, I don't think they had quite figured out who was marking who yet. Solly March gets that goal. And you're thinking, fuck's sake. Like, we've defended all this. We've managed to get here to the 90th minute. And sloppiness has allowed that to happen. Now, I hope that us getting the winner hasn't papered over the cracks of the issues that were in the team, because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer needs to sort them out. The board need to look down there and say, yo, today we had a bench that had no Igalo, no Daniel James, 2 bang average players if we're honest with ourselves, and we had no attacking threat on that bench. That's a problem. That's a problem. City wouldn't have our bench. You're mad. They'd laugh it off. They wouldn't have our bench in their reserves. Liverpool wouldn't have our bench. Like, Chelsea, so we need to fix our bench. We need to fix the players that are coming in. We need to strengthen our squad. That is clear. But also the football has to be better. And I'm hoping, having got that victory, the 3-2 win, which came courtesy of a penalty, Bruno Fernandes with balls of steel, had a dreadful game today, still gets a goal and an assist. Handball, Harry Maguire headed it. Good aerial presence again. He was responsible for the first goal that we got, and he was responsible for the third goal in terms of winning the penalty. Morpie puts his hands up. It was a stonewall penalty, but what had happened was Maguire headed the ball. It goes out. I think it went back out to where the corner flag was, but was still in play. He's blown his whistle. We're thinking, game's done, lads, 2-2. But then you see Harry Maguire grabbing man in the box saying, it's handball! Just grabbing everyone, just... Ref, it's handball. You could see he was animated, and you could see he's not going to go on like that unless something's actually happened. And when I saw his reaction, even without seeing the replay, I knew we have to be getting a penalty here. And then when the ref goes to the box and you see it, stonewall, I'm glad we saw that reaction, because very easily the referee could have blown the whistle, walked off. We're talking about it now. United should have had a penalty, but the ref blown the whistle. But I think actually having people around that was like, ref, you're not getting away with this one. This is stonewall fucking penalty. I think it made the referee make sure, go and check, not just walk off the pitch and allow this game to end, which I feared. We got the penalty, got the win from Bruno. I was shitting myself as he stepped up. And it was an important 3 points, because to start it off this league with 0 points out of 6, with a summer we've had, would have been disastrous. At least now we've won this game. It wasn't ideal. It wasn't pretty, granted. But hopefully now the players can use that to feel a little bit more confident, feel a little bit more better about themselves, maybe have a little bit more positivity going into the next game. And they would have worked their fucking socks off today. This is a Brighton side that went to Newcastle and battered them, played well against Chelsea, did well there, still going in the cup competitions, and we'll play them again midweek. But this is a very good Graham Potter Brighton side, and I know it's Brighton. So to play out there and to get through when you're playing badly with the victory and the 3 points in hand, I think is a positive thing that we've seen here today. But we need to take heed of the warning signs, because there were a few warning signs there. But it's just great to see Marcus Rashford getting back on the score sheet, Bruno getting his goal. It would have been nice to see Martial score today. I don't think he had the best of games, but there was a few moments like the first goal that was disallowed in the first half for Mason Greenwood. He did fantastically well in the build-up to that. And there were various moments where he linked up the play quite well. But in terms of him in the 18-yard box, he didn't have his best of games. I thought Bruno, apart from the goal and the assist, stank the place out. He didn't look good. Marcus Rashford, he was threatening, scored a few goals, had some goals disallowed for offside, should have been watching his line, should have done better. But he got a goal. He'll be feeling more confident about himself. And I thought we saw a better performance from Rashford today. Mason Greenwood, a little bit quiet in the second half. Got a goal in the first half with a good finish, which was eventually ruled out for offside. Further back, I thought Pogba, it was still a 6 out of 10 performance, but he was better than he was against Palace. He's gaining his fitness again, looking okay in there. Matic played well, got booked. He's important for us. We've got to wrap him up in cotton wool. And then the defence, I just feel we got to get Eric Bailly in there. I don't think anyone's confident with that defence at all as a unit, as individuals. We need to change something around in there. Now, Alex Telles could be a great option at fullback, but that's going to improve us going forward. We need to look at what's going on back that way because defensively we don't look too good. And whether it's having that consistent holding midfielder in front of him, having that consistent partnership, I don't know. But Lindelof and Maguire have played together for long enough for me to see that that isn't a partnership that I want at Man United going forward, in my opinion anyway. But yeah, I'm just delighted to get the win. Really delighted to get the win. Buzzing with that. And hopefully we can play better midweek, play better next week in the next league game against, I think it's Spurs. But yeah, 3 points in the bag. Nothing to complain about, seriously, when it comes to the 3 points. But the performance could be better. Anyway, let us know what you guys are thinking in those comments below. Make sure you're liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing. If I was going to give man of the match today, probably go Harry Maguire, Involved in 2 of our goals, the penalty, the third one and the first one. And I thought for what was pretty much a bad defensive line, he kind of held it together a little bit as much as he could. I know I'm quite harsh on Maguire sometimes, and I still think he could improve massively, but I don't know, maybe it was important for us today. Marcus Rashford was also very good as well at times, so one of them. But let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Keep it locked to Stretford Paddock. Subscribe, comment, share, and unlucky Neil Morpie. Try them eyes, mate.